Hello and welcome to the Avrum Rosensweig Show.
Welcome to one of the internet's best podcasts, where we dive deep into the lives of the extraordinary and fascinating people who leave an indelible mark on our world. Join us as we explore their captivating stories, remarkable achievements, and unique perspectives that shape history and inspire generations. Get ready to embark on a journey through the lives of inspiring people unlike any other.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the show. My name is Avrum Rosensweig, and I'm very delighted to be here. I want to dive right into the show today because I think it's very important that we use every minute in an important way. So let me explain to you who our inspirational guests are today. We are deeply honored to have with us Itzhak Levit and Rafael Malyshev, both members of the Givati Brigade, albeit from different generations. Itzhak is the chairperson of the Givati Brigade Association, and he has been since 2012. In 1978, he became an officer and completed all the command posts up to the company commander. He took part in several operations in the Gaza Strip in South Lebanon, and during the First Lebanese War in 1982, he served as the commander of a paratroopers company. Itzhak was a colonel in the army by the time he retired from the IDF and the Givati Brigade called Rotem. He went on to become an entrepreneur and a very successful one at that, and he was presented the Best Small High-Tech Company award by the Prime Minister. Kol hakavod to him, and thank you for joining us. Rafael is 21 years old. He's from Kiev, the Ukraine, and he grew up in Rosh Ha'ayin. Is that what it's called, Rosh Ha'ayin?
Yeah, Rosh Ha'ayin. It's next to Petach Tikva.
Beseder. He enlisted in the Givati Brigade because he said he wanted to continue the legacy of his friends, of which he was deeply inspired. He became a sniper. He was almost killed in the war, of which he will explain that to us. And Rafael, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very honored to have you.
Thank you too.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I want to get things going. Firstly, I think it's important to set a context here. And what better way to do that than do a very short prayer for the hostages in Gaza? Before we do that, I'd like to announce that there were 6 soldiers who were killed in Lebanon today. One is Captain Itai Markovich, who was 22 years old, from Kohav Yair. Another was Staff Sergeant Shriya El Boim, 21, from Metula. Staff Sergeant Dror Hain, 20, from Gan Chaim. Staff Sergeant Nir Gopher, 20, from Dimona. And Sergeant Shalev Itzik Sagron, 21, from Sderot. There is a 6th, and his name and his picture will be announced and shown soon. Zachrenu Levracha. We'd like to say a prayer to God. We call out to you with fervent plea and prayer to bless and protect the civilian men, women, and children brutally kidnapped by Hamas and held captive in Gaza, along with the members of the IDF forces missing in action or held captive. May it be your will speedily and soon to bring them out from darkness and the shadow of death. May the Holy One of Blessing break their bonds, deliver them from their distress, and release them swiftly back to the loving embrace of their dear ones. Do all that must be done so that relief, rescue, and long life may be the lot of every one of the soldiers and civilians who have been taken hostage. Itzhak, you've been in this game, if you will, for many, many years. When I announced to you that 6 soldiers died in southern Lebanon, what does that do to you? How do you take that?
First of all, I didn't know about that. I didn't watch the TV today. But the first feeling is really deep pain, hurt in that same moment. Unfortunately, we have lost in this war so many soldiers, in particular in our brigade. But we must understand this is the fee that we pay for fortifying our country in a place which is maybe one of the most dangerous places in the world, the Middle East. And we have to understand that we don't have other choice. If we want to survive in this so violent zone, we have to pay for that. We wish we could have some sort of peace with our neighbors, but unfortunately, I personally don't believe that is doable.
Tell me, it's like as a former colonel in the IDF, somebody who fought in a number of wars, and then going on to give of your life in so many ways to the Givati Brigade Association. I'm assuming that your interaction with death or family members who have experienced death runs pretty deeply. Well, my question to you is, how do you embrace life, knowing and seeing all these young people who were killed? How do you embrace life?
It's a huge question, but I will try to figure out. But maybe I will start with a few facts about the
Yeah, please.
numbers of soldiers. The Givati Brigade Association, which I serve as the chairman, is the Givati Brigade Association through all the generations. It means from 48 until today.
Mhm.
48, Givati Brigade was the brigade that, in fact, prevent the Egyptians to invade Israel immediately after the announcement of the independence of Israel. The Givati Brigade by then was 2,500 soldiers, and the Egyptians were more than 15,000 soldiers with the everything with air forces and the armored vehicles and so on. What the Givati brigade had by then was a very strong feeling of embrera, no other choice, and two, the spirit of we want to build our country and nobody will prevent that. And when you look at the how that happened, that 2,500 soldiers, together with some people from the kibbutzim, Nekba, Nitzanim, and so on, managed to prevent 15,000 Egyptians to enter. It is only the Jewish spirit. I don't have other explanation how that could happen. The spirit of fighting, the spirit that you are fighting for the right reasons, it gives you or empowers you so much that people can really do the job. In the independence war, Givati Brigade lost 675 soldiers, which means 25% of the fighting power of the unit. Think about that today. In the scale of today unit, it's a number that you cannot even start imagine. Uh, and then Givati became a reserve brigade until starting from 55. And in 83, it was reestablished following the first Lebanon war. Since then, we have another 239 fallen soldiers. And unfortunately, in the last war, in the Iron Sword World, we have another 70 soldiers. So in total, we're talking about 1,000 soldiers that fall over the years. Now, those that fall in the independent world, I don't meet the families. We don't, it is the history. But those that we do have a connection with, which is those since 83 until today. What I can tell you, from one hand, I feel that when we embrace them, and we do it in several ways, if you want, I can go with further detail later on. But when you meet this family, you see the agony, you see the pain, you see the sadness. And we as an association feel that what we can do is to really give them a big hug, which is practically translated into meeting with them, visiting them at home, doing events 2, 3 times a year in order to transform 3 days of agony and sadness into 3 days of joy. It is a special event that we do every year. The Givati Brigade itself has a unit of the wounded and fallen soldiers, headed by a major that she deals with that, and it's the group about 30 soldiers that is their job to visit the wounded soldiers, to visit the bereaved families, and etc. Beyond that, of course, we also have a memorial in our headquarters in the south of the country, and every family that wants to come and to enter, of course, we are there. We do a lot of ceremonies, private ceremonies, or more general ceremonies. And the last small thing is that, before 5-6 years ago, I was walking inside our headquarters, and I suddenly saw a door, which I never looked into what it is. And then I took
Yes.
the operational manager and told him, "Can you open please this door?" And he opened. That is what a storage of things that are there for 40, 50 years. Nobody opened that. And then I told him, listen, we will transform this storage apartment. It was really an apartment inside into a unit, into a suite in order to host the bereaved families. So every family that is heading to the south of the country, they know that in our headquarters, they have a wonderful suite where they can overnight, they can tour in the zone. We take care of their breakfast and so on. So this is more or less the type of activities that we do in order to support the bereaved families.
Kol hakavod to you. Rafael, you were born in the
Yeah.
Ukraine, another hotspot in the world. You're 21 years old. You made Aliyah with your family, and then you decided that you wanted to firstly go into the IDF, which was appropriate for you, and you wanted to join the Givati Brigade, and you said because you were inspired by your friends who had done so. You want to tell me about that inspiration?
Yeah. First of all, the inspiration is because of my friends around my city. A lot of people from Rosh Hashanah joined to Givati, and you see your big brother friends and your school grown kids coming back to school with uniform and the gun, and you like look at them and I want to be like that. And in my home, at my house, my parents are very tzionim, patriotic. So since I was a little kid, always my dad told me, "You're gonna be a soldier. You're gonna be service IDF." My mom, me and my mom would walk, Ken would walk on the streets and see soldier, and she like tell him thank you very much. He protects you. That's where I grown up. That's the place. So you cannot be a soldier. You cannot not be a soldier. You have no other chance.
So you decided that when you were offered the option to join the Givati Brigade. Now, the Givati Brigade, I'm fascinated by this interview because it gave me a chance to do my research into it. And according to Itzhak, it's the greatest brigade of all the brigades. I'm wondering if other brigades say the same thing. I don't know. But I know that the Givati is the brigade that really led the fighting.
We the first one who said that.
Right, right. So you have a lot of nachas, you have a lot of pride in the Givati Brigade, as you should. Now you took the next step, Rafael, to become what I'm sure what every mother would not want you to be, or perhaps I'm wrong, which was a sniper. Why did you decide you wanted to be a sniper?
Actually, I didn't decide I always wanna be a sniper, but in the army it's not working like that. What you want, it's what you got. It's not working like that.
Okay.
It's like here agree with me. Yeah. Uh, for I had a luck. I really had a luck. I always wanna be a sniper since I was a little kid, and I talked with the commanders about that. And that's happened. I really don't know what to tell you.
No, but
Very big
Rafael,
luck.
why did you want to become a sniper?
You need reasons?
I do.
Okay, all right. I think the sniper's work, it's the important one. No one gonna agree with me, yes, because they know the important, but I love this much better work to lie down for long hours and wait for the person, the terrorist, who threw my telescope. And
You have a person. You have a
Maybe I
person.
want to say something, Avram, about what he's saying. You know, the sniper have a very important role because when you are in a fighting situation, okay, you have danger from several options. Okay, it can be from drones, it can be from explosion, and it can be also from their snipers, or it can be from terrorists that are attacking our soldiers. So the sniper is filling a very important role because at the end of the day, they are able to identify or to get some information or intelligence from those that are putting in risk our soldiers. So if we manage to neutralize them, our soldiers can perform much better and can advance from house to house and continue their operation. So I think that Rafael choose one of the most, let's say, important roles in a squad or in a company of the Givati Brigade.
yeah,
I can only imagine, as I said before, it's the job that a mother perhaps would not want a child to be. Is that correct, or is your mother cool with it?
actually, my mother very cool with that. She was very excited when I tell her about that I got the job. She was like, "Wow, my dream comes true." Her dream. I don't. What you want? It's my dream, mom. Not your dream. It's my
Yeah,
dream.
you'll see one day when you're a parent. It's your mom's dream too. So,
Yeah, yeah,
Raphael, let's talk a little bit about your experiences in this war. On October 7th of last year, terrorists came into
yeah.
southern Israel, and they were very well prepared. And at the end of the day, they slaughtered 1,200, some people say 1,400 Israeli men, women, and children. The IDF was called up a little bit late, and I'm sure we'll find out why that was one day. And you ultimately went into Gaza, and you went into Gaza as a sniper. You
To
were doing, yeah. Go ahead, please.
not to Gaza in October 7.
No,
To
no, no.
kibbutz Kfar Aza.
Yes, and then eventually you went into Gaza,
After that, yeah, yes.
right? And you were doing your work, and you were doing it arduously. You were doing it well, and then one day something happened to you. You were hit with a bullet, something that obviously no soldier ever wants to happen. Tell
Hmm.
us, tell us what occurred on that day.
Okay, it was the memorable evening of the Memorial Day, 12 in May, and I was sitting in my position as a sniper. And in that day, we fired a lot, and we did amazing job. And everybody know we in this house because in Givati, we're in Gaza, it's like a tank and Namer. It's like a tank. It's down in the house. Everybody from around us know we here.
Yes.
So we shot a lot, and in 7:30 in the evening, the sniper of Hamas shot me in the chest with the 50 cal to my chest near my heart, explode my spleen, broke my ribs, and my lungs also got injured, and all my left side of my chest flew away. I also flew away to the wall, got stuck with the head and the back, and fall down. After that, my friend sit all this time, all this story I'm telling you, my friend sitting here next to me, right of me.
Yes.
I'm talking with him. We like in the middle of conversation, and
Yes.
I'm on the floor, injured. My friends come to me, start yell to help, paramedic, paramedic, and mechabel, like everybody will know there, a terrorist around because I got shot, and he started to yell, and no one listened him because around the house it was a lot of shooting, a lot of shooting, and no one can listen us, and we were the only one on the third floor. We were two of us only in this floor, and after that he go to the stairs. He told me, "Stay here, don't move, stay alive." and go to the stairs and start yelling for helping. And our friends listen him, come up stairs, and pick me, took my vest out, put my vest, and took my shirt off, and with the shirt came off with like this is for my skin, with the shirt, piece of skin for my chest, and they picked me up, and took me down three floors, and put me on the stretcher. And now it's we need to get out from the house, but the terrorist outside. So we're getting outside, me on the stretcher, my friends ready, one hand picking me up, one and the other hand ready to kill the one who gonna be close to us, the one terrorist who gonna try, and they run with me and put me in the tank. First of all, it's a APC. You know what is APC?
Yeah.
So they put me in the APC for it was the right APC because it was normal APC, and they're not the paramedic staff who relevant for my injured. They not gonna help me. So I remember a lot of chaos and screaming on the enter for the APC, and like what we gonna do? And this time the paramedic APC coming to us. Paramedic APC coming to us. They put me inside a paramedic APC, and there my doctor. My doctor start to talk to me and relax me, and ask questions. All the paramedics there start asking me for ID, my phone number, all this to stay awake. Yeah, to stay awake. And she put me blood from my knee on to my knee, to my to my knee, yes. And they put me blood because they couldn't find. She couldn't find a vein or in my body, and they lost a lot of blood. After that, they gave me a lot of big drugs, strong drugs, because I was in the pain, and I died. I got a clinic death for couple minutes. They in the APC, sure they lost me. Wants to go to radio and tell that to another unit next to us to. But the doctor, meanwhile I'm dead, she telling him to continue do the job and not give up. And she was right. I coming back, thank to her. And I'm unconscious right now, but I'm alive, unconscious. They we're driving to the. It's called in Israel Gabal. It's like Itzik, how to say that? Gabal.
Gabal?
Yeah. הגבול כאילו.
Ah, the border.
The border, yeah. They put
Oh,
the border.
Gvul, yeah, the border, yes.
Yeah, gvul, yes. I forget the word in English, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. There we waiting us the helicopter that took me to the hospital, Jerusalem Hadassah and Karim in Jerusalem. There I get immediately to surgery. Yeah, they saved my life there. I remember the doctors after the surgery, couple days after that, telling me that they didn't believe they're gonna save my life, and all the floor in the room was red, like a scene from the movie. I woke up after the surgery 12 hours ago. After 12 hours, and I couldn't feel my body. I was with tubes to all my stomach and my chest, and catheter, and I really was unavailable to move and do anything. I remember when wake up, I ask the doctor if I lost my friends in this in the middle of the what happened. No, I doesn't. Baruch Hashem. And I ask if I had my legs. I remember that I got shot in the chest, but I couldn't feel them, and I didn't believe him. That, so I asked them. I didn't believe that I have legs, and he told me, yes, we only took out your spleen. It was explode. I said okay. He got out from the room. I remember I take a picture. Like I was like this. I could move only my hand, right hand, a little bit. Take a picture, and I'm holding the phone 25 minutes, and I'm afraid to get in the picture. I was in the Hadassah for 2 weeks. I had another surgery after that. After 2 weeks, to put they took a skin from my left leg to put in my chest. And after that, I was 2 months in Tel HaShomer, do a recovery and physiotherapy and psychology, and here I am.
And Baruch Hashem on that one too.
Yeah.
You know, what strikes me, Raphael, and I'm going to use this as a question for Yitzhak, is your spirit. I don't know if you know the word inimitable. You have a powerful, powerful spirit. Your smiling fills the screen. Even when you're telling such a harrowing story, you were smiling when you said I was dead.
Because
Who
what we
smiles when
left,
they
we need
say
to
that?
cry. No. Always
I hear
smile.
you, and
Always
that's what I'm
smile.
talking about. So, Itzhak, you said before that the powerful thing about the Jewish people, about the IDF, about the Givati Brigade, is what we call the Matzav Ruach. It's the spirit, right? When you hear Raphael's story, this is not the first time you've heard this story or such a story. What happens inside of you? What is your response as an Israeli, as a Jew?
In each generation, in the IDF, and in the generation when I served, we were sure that we are best. And the former commanders of us, which were a generation before us, they say that we are better than them, and so on over the years. And today, when I look at the young generation of the commanders and soldiers of Givati, which are in fact 2 generations after me, okay? I was the commander, by the way, of the battalion of Rafael in 87, 88. So he was not even in the plan of his parents, I assume.
Yes.
2 generations. What I feel following the war is that the generation that we name, the X generation, the Y generation, they only want to enjoy from life, they don't care about anything. It was a complete mistake. This is the most victorious, the most heroical generation which I have faced in my 67 years. They are so determined. They are so identified with the reason why they are fighting and for what they are fighting, that it's really, wow, you feel a very strong feeling of you want to embrace each one of them, really. And I think that Rafael, in his spirit, in the way that he described what happened to him, he represents thousands of soldiers of IDF in general,
Yes.
and of Givati in particular, that proves the real spirit of the Jewish people. We are people of peace. We are the only a language, by the way, that when we meet each other, we say shalom, peace. Okay, think about that. If you will meet here in Canada somebody and you will tell him peace, he will think that you are crazy. Okay, he expects you to say hello, good morning, but not peace.
How are
Okay.
you?
Yes.
Yes. How are you? And etc. In Israel, we say shalom. Why? Because we are people of shalom. But if we get a flat in our cheek, we don't give in the other one. We will fight until we will reach our goals. And the one that want to be with us in peace will need to understand that we are very, very determined. So we are peace of shalom, but in Hebrew there is a say, הרוצה בשלום ייכון למלחמה. The one that wants peace, it needs to be prepared all the time for fighting. And that's what we do, and that is what happened in the last year. And when I look at how we managed to defeat Hamas and Hezbollah, Hezbollah was perceived like a very, very big threat to Israel. They escaped. Most of them not really fight. They try to to injure our soldiers, to kill them, but most of them afterwards run away, because they feel the determination of our heroes, they feel the determination of IDF, and once again, they didn't read our lips in the right way. They thought that we are weak, they thought that we are split because of their form, because of this, because of that. They didn't understand when the Jewish people are challenged, we are the best fighters in the world.
Rafael, I and I think many Jews in the diaspora are absolutely amazed by the level of responsibility that you have and had as a 21-year-old, as a 20-year-old. My son, God bless him, he's 18 years old, and he's in the University of Toronto. He's still a bit of a boy, and I like that. I like his spirit. And I sense in you as well, because you have this wonderful Ukrainian smile. You have a beautiful, beautiful spirit about you. Are you in your own mind ever overwhelmed by the responsibility that you've been given? And do you see yourself as a grown man, or are you still a bit of a boy in all this?
In Israel, you're 17, you're 18, you're like, okay, I'm gonna be in army next year.
Yeah.
And think about it one moment. I'm 18, I'm gonna to be in a college and start my life, start my career. Here in Israel, in the streets, you can listen to conversation between two 6-year-old boys. I wanna be סיירת מטכ"ל, I wanna be שייטת 13. It's 6 years old boys. They talking about the army, and they far away from him. So after the army, you already growner. You grown. You will be act like a grown up. It's making you very older, much older, and prepare in life. After war, it's like that on asteroid, because I feel right now I'm 21 years old, and I'm very funny. I acting like a kid sometimes. I be honest. I'm enjoying my life, but in my mind I think I'm because of the things I gone experience I had, and yes, I have this feeling that it changed me a lot for the good. And that's it. No, that's what you want to hear now, or
Yeah. Itzhak, I was talking to an IDF soldier the other day, Itai, and I did an interview with him. And he said to me that he was frightened in Israel, even when he was fighting and his truck broke down and terrorists attacked them, he and 8 of his friends, 3 of them were killed. He said he never felt fear. But when he came here to Toronto, to the diaspora, he told me, he said, I see that, other people are taking care of you. That if you're in a Beit Knesset, in a synagogue, the uniformed guard, he's not a Jew, right? It's a non-Jew taking care of a Jew. And I thought to myself, that's a fantastic point that he's making. That in Israel, you feel as though you're part of this huge community. in the IDFs, let's say specifically in Givati Brigade, you know that people are watching over you. You have a community. So the fear is either not there or it's less. Would that be accurate what I'm saying, Itzhak?
I think that in Israel in general, in spite of all the machlokot, all the differences that we have, political or other backgrounds, after all, we feel like we are a big mishpacha. And I can tell you that in Givati in particular, we really feel like a mishpacha. And I'm sure that Rafael can confirm that the level of contact with his friend in the unit, with the commanders in his unit, is something incredible. I'm sure that the company commander of Rafael was in direct contact with his family before he was injured, just to care. Does Rafael have whatever he needs? Does Rafael need something special, and so on? So it is a type of relationship that it really becomes a family. And I want to tell you something about what Rafael said. He spoke about the will of many, many youth guys in Israel to enlist to the best unit of IDF, as he says, Eret Matkal, Shaldag, Shayetet, and so on, so on. Now, when these units created, because they are small units, they created like a type of discharged soldiers support after the soldiers from their unit are discharged, so they somehow help each other. They have a network. What we are doing now in Givati, we are creating a new huge project which is named exactly what we are talking about. Mishpachat Hasgula, the purple family. And the main purpose of this project, which is the combination of our association, the Givati Brigade Association, and Momentum, which is also a huge association in Israel dealing with discharged soldiers, we are going to create now a big community in which any soldier that was discharged from Givati, if he needs works, if he needs studies, academic studies, if he needs an advice from a lawyer, if he needs an advice from a CPA, if he needs a credit card with a lot of discount, we will have it. And this project, we will launch it at the beginning of January. We already have about 2,000 soldiers, discharged soldiers from Givati in the last 2-3 years that they already registered to this project. And I think it will be the main supporting environment for the soldiers. You have your own family, but you have another family which is named the Purple Family that will support you all along the way whenever you need.
I know that you are speaking this evening. It's November 13th when we record this at Magen David Synagogue, which is a Sephardic shul here in Toronto. And I've seen a number of different interviews that you've done around the world, including as well. I think Raphael's cough is catchy, including in Western Canada. So, firstly, I want to say to you, kol hakavod for you for doing this. I know you have a family back home. I know you have a wife of 43 years. God bless her. The same wife, you made a point of saying. And Kanena Hora, the 4 children.
Yeah.
What I want to ask Rafael and you, in terms of your work, in terms of doing advocacy for the IDF, for Israel, for the Givati Brigade, obviously the Israeli community, the people of Israel are behind you. Obviously the Jews of diaspora, many of them are behind you. I noticed, Rafael, you wear a kippah. Itzhak, I noticed that in one of your speeches that you started with a Devar Torah about Shemitah in Israel, the importance of the land. So, Rafael, was God with you when you were on that roof, when you took a bullet, when you were doing your sniper work? Are you conscious of God at those points?
I feel God every moment, every second. Before the injured, after the injured. The fact, on the October 7, me and my unit, my Rotem battle line, jump to Kfar Aza, Kibbutz Kfar Aza, and fight there for 3 days and get outside from there healthy, in one piece. I was in Gaza. God with me. I come back from Gaza. No, I didn't die. God with me. When I got injured, I got shot. I'm not a big man. 3 centimeters left, it's over. He's probably a bad sniper. God always with me, with every Jewish in the world, not only with me. It's right here between the camera and me. Meanwhile, we're talking.
Itzhak, does God play a role in all of this for you?
Yes, I tell you, I think that I have met God in several opportunities in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, also in IDF, but also in my private life. So of course I believe in the Jewish heritage. I believe in the Torah. I believe in Jewish values. I believe in the Jewish people, and I think that when you look at the history of the Jewish people, we are a great miracle because there are circumstances in our history that you cannot deny that unless there is something somewhere taking care, that it will be impossible. Just when we don't need to go hundreds of thousands of years back. 48, how we managed to conquer and to defeat 5 armies that attacked us, and they wanted only one thing: to destroy the Jewish people and to fade out into the sea. In the 6 Day War, how it happened? There was a big concern that we are going to be thrown to the sea. And in fact, it was maybe the major victory we ever had in a war. And when you look at what happened in this current war, there was a major failure. We know that. And that will be investigated, and we hopefully will know at least most of the fact what led to this major factor on 7th of October. But after that, the way that Israel, managed to, how you say that word in English? Wait a minute. To stand up and to fight and to defeat. Now, one thing that people not necessarily know, Israel is not fighting against Hezbollah and against Hamas. We are fighting right now in 8 fronts. Hezbollah, Hamas, in Judea and Samaria, on a daily basis, IDF is doing operation. The Houthis, with their chutzpah, we managed somehow to neutralize them, but they are also there. In Syria, in order to avoid the smuggling of rockets
Also
and
Egypt.
munitions
Egypt.
into Lebanon, Iraq, and even Sudan. You know that, yes? And even
Rafael, you
Sudan,
said Egypt.
which for
I
many
also said
years
Egypt. Yes,
was,
they also make us trouble sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. And even Sudan, the north of Sudan served as a bridge for Iran to smuggle, all the way with ship to Sudan from the Persian Gulf, all the way to Sudan, from there in trucks directly to Egypt for money, and then under the tunnels in the Philadelphia corridor to put them inside the Gaza Strip. But these 8 arms had a head. So I name it the octopus, and the head is Iran. And I believe that once we will manage to eliminate the head of the octopus, all the others will suddenly fade out, because otherwise they don't have the real financing, they don't really have the real reason even in order to continue fighting. After all what I mentioned here are proxies of Iran. And Iran, for us, for them, America is the big Satan and we are the small Satan. So the Americans should also remember, not only America, all the sane democratic Western world should remember they might be the next in the queue. What happened in September 11 in 2001 is something that can repeat itself in different versions, because the aim of this radical regime is to destroy the Western world. And we are only, right now, the only one that is really fighting against this evil. And I think that when we are talking about being unified, it's not only being unified between Israel people or the Jewish people around the world. To be unified with all the main powers in the Western world, America and Canada, and hopefully some of the same countries in Europe, that we are fighting their fight. The extremists will find them, and they already find them. You know how many millions of Muslims already immigrated into Europe and transformed Europe in something that who will believe before 20, 30, 40 years ago that Europe will look that day? Who will believe that in the campuses, in the universities, in the US, with Qatar money, they will manage to raise some type of lies and hatred against Israel? So this is not only Israel war. This is a global war. We are in the front, but we can defeat all the locals, but we need all the world in order to defeat and eliminate this major enemy of the civilization, which is Iran, the Iran regime, not the Iran people, by the way, because I think that my understanding from what I read is that most of the Iranians do not support the current regime, but they are oppressed. They don't have other choice. And they're waiting for us, for America, from Canada to do the job.
I just want to add to that, by the way, that from my perspective, from what I do here in the world, I meet many non-Jews, and I'm friends with many non-Jews, and we have many, many friends in the world, and we should never ever forget that, of the support that we get from people all over the world. And there are some countries who are very much in the forefront of standing proud and standing tall in support of Israel and the Jewish people. And to them, we extend our heart, and we are very, very grateful for what they've done for the Jewish people as well. I know that you have a very busy schedule. I just want to conclude with a couple of maybe a little bit more personal questions. So that people can have a great sense of who you are. There are many people who will be listening to you tonight at the synagogue. I also want to take a moment to thank my dear friend Shirley, who put this interview together. She's a lovely human being, and on the committee of the Givati Brigade Association. Without her, I think that this would not have come together. She's a very sweet person. Rafael, what's the greatest part of your personality? What do you like most about yourself?
I didn't listen you. It's not.
I didn't
What
listen
again?
you. It's not
What's the greatest part about your personality? What do you like most about yourself?
That I'm always happy, positive, and I'm always smiling. Always, like always.
I can see.
Like I wake up from the injury. I start with the dark humor. The doctors look at me like I'm crazy. That's my medicine. Laugh. Thank you.
Are your parents like that? Are they smiling too?
They like that, but there are sometimes I need to shut up, and I'm not get it. I keep talking.
Tell me something, just a side question, and then we'll go back to Itzhak and wrap up. Were there Haredi Jews in your pluga in the Givati Brigade?
Of course, we had a pluga shlema of Haredi guys. Tomer, it's called.
How was the interaction?
What you mean?
A lot of people don't understand firstly the Haredi community to begin with, and then many people feel as though there are very few Haredi Jews in the IDF. So what I'm asking you is your own interaction with Haredi in the IDF. How was it?
In the IDF,
maybe I will help Rafael with that point.
Okay, go.
Givati Brigade is the melting pot of the Israeli society. We have from everything.
Kibbutz Galuyot.
We have Faradim, Ashkenazim, Kibbutzim, Moshavim, from the cities, religious, seculars, ultra-Orthodox. We have from everything. And this is something, by the way, we have more than 200 lone soldiers that serve right now in the Givati Brigade from 27 countries. So it is really the melting point of the Israeli society and the Jewish people in general. And I think that Givati in that context is a good sample how when you are serving your country for the same purposes, for the same goal, nobody cares about politics. We
same
care
interest
about brotherhood and the mission.
Itzhak, what I find very interesting is how people choose their causes in life. You know, there are those people who love the dolphins, so they spend their entire life making sure that the dolphins are free and that they perpetuate themselves and so on. Everybody has their own cause. Everybody has their own thing in life. You chose as your cause, if you will, the Givati Brigade, and hence you became the chairman in 2012 of the association. What is it about you? What is it about your Ofi, about your character, that encouraged you to go this route in life? Why did you choose as your cause a brigade of the IDF?
Okay, I tell you, as you understood, I'm in the high-tech industry for many, many years. I a typical startupist, what we name, and I did quite well in this field. And in 2005, I think, a previous commander of a unit that I was also a company commander in that unit, an elite unit, he told me, Itzhak, listen, I'm right now the chairman of the Givati Brigade Association, and I want you to join. So, okay, you are doing business, but do something beyond that. Now, I was doing a lot of stuff beyond that with other type of population, but I say, you know what? I think this is the right thing to do, and then I joined. And after 7 years, there was a lot of pressure on me to be elected as the chairman of the association. Indeed, after 7 years of being in the board of director, I say, okay, now I can. And the reason I say now I can is because I managed over those years, to slow down a little bit my business in order to have more time for what I see as the Jew most important. There are things that you do for the parnasa, and there are things that you do for neshama, for your spirit. And I felt after being part of the association that it really fills my neshama. I feel that I'm doing what any Jew should do in his life, to share his time for good deeds in things that are very significant for our existence in Israel. Now, what I brought to the association, the association mission statement was to perpetuate the fallen soldiers and to preserve and develop the heritage of the Givati Brigade. What I did, because I think that I have a spirit of an entrepreneur, is to take care also of those that are alive. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Those that are alive, which mean lone soldiers, wounded soldiers, soldiers from a low socioeconomic background, and we have about 12 different projects that I was in some way the entrepreneur that say, I'm going with all my power and bring the resources in order to carry out. And I think this has been my modest contribution over the last 12 years to the association, to transform it into an entity that really deals on a daily basis with the needs of the soldiers that are serving in the brigade or are about to discharge from the brigade. And for that purpose, we of course need the money. Okay, the Ministry of Defense support all our ongoing activities, which means paying salaries to 3 people that work for the association. We have our headquarters, we have a museum, memorial, a lot of stuff. But any initiative which exceed that, you have to bring the resources. And over the years, I learned to do that. I was never dealing with raising money. Well, you know what? I did only one time in '93 when I established my first startup. I managed to bring a VC to invest in the company. So it was the first time. But since then, I never really worked on that field. And I hope that I used to say, it's like a joke, that I get the highest salary in the association.
Right.
From there.
From God.
Okay. I hope that I will be not in the world to come. The world to come, who knows? Who knows that what it is? I hope that I will be compensated for my attempt to do good deeds in this world by having a healthy family, by having friends, by having a very good relationship with the Jewish people, and etc.
Amen. Rafael, what have you learned about Itzhak hanging out with him? What sort of
About
man is
what?
he? Itzhak, what sort of man is he? What have you learned about him?
Itzhak is a mystery.
He's a
It's
mystery.
interesting man. Yeah, it's a great man.
How is he a mystery?
Because he know a lot of stuff, and he talks and he talks and he keep talks, and it's not like, okay, stop. It's already you. No, it's not. It's actually and they right with what.
So you like him?
Of course.
Okay, guys.
You have other choice. By the way, I have a friend that a non-Jewish friend that he lives in France, and we have a lasting conversation before a couple of years ago. I was in Paris, and then he told me, I had been in Israel several times, but I don't really manage to understand what Israel is. And then I told him, listen, from the outside, Israel is a mystery. From the inside, it is a miracle.
Nice. Excellent. Excellent. Very well said. Now, guys, I want to wrap up by telling you that recently I've been playing around a little bit with artificial intelligence. And for many of my guests, I've asked AI to write a poem about them. And I did that with the both of you, Itzhak and Rafael. So for the next
I hope we are embraced.
No, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. So listen closely. Here we go.
A poem?
It's a poem. Piyut. For Itzhak and Rafael. Here we are. In the land where the sun meets the hills of sand, 2 warriors stand, proud and strong, hand in hand. One wears the badge, passed like a badge of pride, a soldier retired but never to hide. Itzhak, who led with might, now guides the legacy still burning bright. Chairman of the Givati, his heart beats true, a guardian of memories, a voice for the few. Through decades of battle, he fought with grace for the people of Israel, for every race. Now in quiet moments, he stands tall, a leader who answers the Givati call. With strength in his soul and fire in his eyes, he stands for the legacy that never, never dies. Then there's Rafael, a name forged in fire, a sniper whose courage is what we admire. In the heat of the battle where shadows loom, he faced death's grip, and yet he bloomed. Almost taken but never to break, with every breath he'd fight for Israel's sake. In the thick of the war when the odds were grim, Raphael's resolve didn't waver and it didn't dim. A silent protector, a shadow in the night. His aim is true, his cause is right. Though the battle has scarred him, still he stands, a warrior who fights for the promised land. Both are warriors from different times, one a keeper of legacy, one in his prime. Yet both fight for the same sacred cause, for the people of Israel, for justice, law. For every Jew, for all humankind, they carry a future, a peace to find. Yitzhak with wisdom, the strength of the past. Raphael with courage, steadfast and vast. Together they are the heart, the fire, the soul of a people who rise and will always be whole. From the fields of battle to the halls of peace, their courage endures. It will never cease. On behalf of Israel, of Jews everywhere, their fight for humanity shows the world that they care. So let their names echo, let their story be told, of Itzhak with his heart of gold, of Raphael the sniper, whose courage defines the strength of a people through perilous times. What do you think?
Wow, wonderful.
What do you think?
Wonderful.
Isn't that nice?
Thank you very much. I must
Beautiful, beautiful.
share
Again,
my great
again.
appreciation with OpenGL, a company that probably you use their IAA engine in order to create that.
Make it an investment. It's worth it. I'll send you guys the poem. But in conclusion,
Yes.
first I want to thank you very much for your time. I'm
Thank
very
you.
grateful.
Thank
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
you very
It's
much.
Avrum, can I add one word?
yeah,
One
please,
sentence?
please.
I really want to share my great gratitude to Shirley. You mentioned that. But you know, when I came here to Canada for the first time, I met with a guy that wanted to donate to the, and since then we are in very good relationship. He's donating on a yearly basis. But when I met Shirley, I will not share it with you all the circumstances, but it was like a gift from God. A
Uh-huh.
lady that is so all his spirit, all his soul. He just heard that I want to come here 3 months working around the clock in order to make everything work properly. And I appreciate that very, very much. And she told me yesterday night when we had the dinner, I thank you, he told me, for giving me the right to be part of. But I think that I thank her more.
You know, Itzhak, I haven't met you personally, but I can feel through the screen here that you have a very beautiful spirit. You're a very warm person. And I once
Thank you.
again, I know Raphael had to leave. He has a lot of things to do. But I do want to tell you that you can't possibly imagine how grateful we are in the diaspora for what you do and for what Raphael does. I can't tell you. It's beyond words because we feel scared. You know, anti-Semitism is proliferating. It's all over the place. And having you as one of our leaders, and Raphael and Itai, whom I interviewed the other day, and my friend Nir Mammon, who lives in Toronto, he's been called up to Gaza 5 times, and he's 47 years old. Watching these interviews, hearing you speak, knowing who you are and that strength of character that you have, it makes us feel more comfortable, more relaxed. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. We love
Thank
you.
you for
We
giving
love
us
you.
this option. Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Avram. Thank you very much.
אני אוהב אותך, באמת. I
תודה,
want to thank
תודה.
everybody for viewing this today. Feel free to ask any questions on it. I would ask you to share it, please. I would ask you please to subscribe to my channel. The show is called the Avrum Rosensweig Show. You'll find it on YouTube and all other social media outlets. And you can reach me at avram.rosensweig@gmail.com. Itzhak, let us know where we can donate to. Give us your website.
It is the Givati, Givati .org.il. And if you put a /en, then you will get immediately into the English website where you can donate. You can do it also in the Hebrew one. So I
Okay.
say again, givati.org.il/en.
Kol hakavod. We'll be in touch. Itzhak.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bavakasha.
Bye-bye,
Bavakasha.
Avrum.
Thank you, folks.
Toda.
Until we meet again. As they say in Yiddish, sei gesinnt. Itzhak, you know Yiddish at all? Sei gesinnt.
Yeah,
There
a
we
little
go.
bit.
Okay. Thank you for watching. We'll be in touch.